more. But I'm going to show you a little project now. Let's open up these 3 images. Let's just open up these 2. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of information. Don't worry. But it's an idea for you to see what's capable with using Photoshop, of what we can do. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is, here's the layer. Okay, here you're going to have a window with layers. Sister, you can change all this. I'm going to unlock it because the background layer is always unlocked. We're going to use the selection tool here. We're going to select. I'm going to hit Shift. I'm going to select everything but the woman in the black. And again, I'm just going to do this fast. I'm not going to do this perfect because we don't have time for perfection right now. And then I'm going to go to Select, Inverse, and what that means is I'm selecting just the black. Okay, like I said, Photoshop is not that easy. I suggest if you really do want to learn it, do some tutorials. The best thing you can do is get Photoshop, and then they have a lot of resources, like in their help menu. Anything you want to know, you can look it up. Okay, then you're going to select the Move tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this, which is a layer right now. This whole thing is on one layer. I'm going to show you how we're going to use multiple layers. We're going to drag that to our starry sky. Okay, we're going to put her here. I'm just going to, because this is bugging me, I'm just going to delete that little yellow. So now you see that we have 2 layers. We have the background layer and we have the woman, which is on another layer. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're just going to select this white piece right here. It's just an example. I'm going to click on the magic wand and I'm going to also select the red around it. I'm going to make sure all of these little pieces are selected. Okay, then you can either copy and paste it into the other window or you can just drag it. On this example, I'll say copy, or you can cut. Go back to our main workspace and I'm going to paste it. Actually, I don't want to paste it. I'm going to create a new layer. This is an example of how to use layers. New layer, okay? And then I'm going to paste it. Because what happens is, because it's on a new layer, I can move that layer around without affecting the other layers. If I pasted it directly on the woman, then that and the woman would be moving around. It would be stuck together. So here, because it's a new layer, I'll show you now. Now that we kind of have the main piece figured out, we can play around with how to use the layers. So we can move layers around, and that's useful because you might want this behind the woman. So you take this layer and you put it behind the woman, so it looks like she's kind of looking at it. Hold on, let me move it a little bit. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. I'm just doing this quickly. Okay, now an example of how you would move both these 2 layers, the woman and this, if let's say you needed to, but you didn't want to merge them, is you hold Shift and you select both these layers, okay? Then you can move both of them at the same time. Okay, you can also merge layers. You go, here, the little hamburger. This is going to give you a bunch of layer options, okay? You can merge layers, you can flatten the whole image if you're really final and you don't ever want to make editing changes again. And I'm going to show you how to do some blending options with layers. Okay, let's see. What should I do next? Let's use this, this little white box here with the sail. Wait, let me see. Okay, we're gonna go, here's another option. Besides the fact that you can use blending options like I just showed you, another filter option for layers is right here. It can be normal, but we're gonna change it to dissolve. Where is dissolve? Dissolve, right there. And it's not doing anything. Oh, divide, I'm sorry. I wrote this down. Divide. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make this pop more in a second. But you can do really cool effects. And instead of just having like a white box, which is a little bit boring, we're gonna do some cool stuff right now. Okay, so I'm gonna unlock this layer. Okay, I'm on this layer. Make sure whatever layer you're working on is what you're selected on. So like if I wanna work on the background layer, I make sure that that's the layer selected right now. Okay, now we're going to make a gradient. I'm just making a gradient of blue and purple, okay? So I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a new layer because I might wanna change it later. I don't want it embedded in that layer. I'm gonna make a new layer right on top of that and behind the white layer. I'm just gonna drag it like this. But now I don't wanna hide the sky completely. So I'm gonna make this an exclusion.
Wait, Karen, can I stop you for a second? You
Sure.
created this, the gradient layer, as a gradient overlay, what was that? You said you made a gradient, but there's lots of different gradients. How did you make that?
It's just a regular. It's just here. Let me change this back to normal. It's just here's a tool that says gradient.
Yeah.
You select it. You can pick whatever gradient. You can make it transparent a little bit more if you want it, but this is full on.
No, I understand. I use this tool all the time, but it is put in a gradient on as a layer. Usually, when you use that tool from the tools on this, like on the side, you have to you go from like point to point. You created like a whole layer.
Yeah, it's just part of, this is how I'm doing this particular design. I mean, you can use the gradient however you want.
I'm asking you how you created it as a layer opposed to point from that tool. Because normally I do it from the bottom. I choose it and I have to say create like gradient layer, but you did it from over here. You can't. Yeah,
I just used the tool and I just dragged it like this. See? You can do it this way, you can do it this way, you can do it this way. Does that answer your question?
Did you do new layer? Did you say new layer and then you add the gradient?
Oh, I see. You are using it from point to point. I couldn't see that. I only now can see that you're doing that. I thought that you just created it as a layer. Never mind. Got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just dragging it like that. Okay, so then you can do I'm just showing like what different things you can do. You can lower the opacity, whatever, but we're going to do something to make it look pretty. We'll do exclusion. Okay, and now see how the letters pop a little bit more? And I would even make this a little bit darker so you can see the letters just a little bit better. Like I said, it's not perfect right now. I'm just kind of showing a quick thing. Okay, then we'll take the eraser.
What did the exclusion do?
The exclusion is just an effect. Like, see how it kind of blends the gradient with the background? So, like, you can do like an overlay. You can do lighten. You can do saturation. I mean, there's all kinds of effects. You just have to play around with it. I just chose exclusion for now. And then what I'm going to do, just to make it look fancy, is I've always had a problem. I've been using this for years, but it still takes me a second to like find. I'm like, what tool? Where is that tool? It's very like. All right, so now I'm just going to erase some of this just to make it look kind of cool, whatever. Okay. So this looks a lot cooler than that just white background. It kind of blends the whole thing together. Okay, so we're pretty much, oh no, I want to do one more effect to make it look cool. So here's the woman, right? here's where we use not these effects, but the blending effects I was talking about. So you select that layer, you right click, and you say blending options. Like I said, don't be scared. There's a lot to take in. It's just a matter of playing around with it and practicing. Okay, so let's do like an outer glow. See how that worked? She's like glowing right there. And you can change the opacity. You can change the spread. You just have to like
It's a lot
use
of
your
playing around.
eye and see what looks good. So there, she's kind of like popping a little bit more. If you want to merge these two layers, like merge this with this, you just click here and you go merge down. Sometimes, oh, I didn't do that. Let me try something. Ugh, no, it's not. Okay, I'm not going to get into this right now. But sometimes you want to merge layers just because like you're done with it and you want to move things around and you don't want to tweak it out anymore. It's just easier just to play with that one layer. What else can I show you about layers? Is there any questions really? I mean, that was just like a quick like how to take 3 different things and merge them into like a cool little piece. I can't think of anything else I'd really, I mean, there's just so much, but is there something specific somebody wants to know?
This was great for me, Karen. I mean, I don't use Photoshop, but I really learned a lot about how it works. It really helped me understand how everybody works with Photoshop. So thank you, just from like a total novice.
Yeah, it's a good introduction of like what can be done. You know, like we can take text and merge it onto images and do cool effects and yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do with it. Especially like I know Esther does sometimes and Michelle does, like you'll take a logo and you'll have to like make the background transparent because they just give you some square logo with some ugly background embedded on it and you want to have it transparent, you know? So you can do that. You could basically, like how I cut out the girl over here, that's what you would do with that layer of text. You would use the magic wand tool and you would cut out the background and then just have and delete it. But when you delete it, you want to make sure, this is kind of important if you do work with logos on here, you want to make a new layer. Okay, it has to be a transparent. See how it's like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like gray and white squares. Mm-hmm. That means it's a transparent layer. Okay, so you want that on the bottom. And that means whatever you're going to cut out, you have to be on the girl layer now. Because if I'm on this layer and I'm trying to cut it out, it's not going to work. I have to be on the girl layer. I have to cut out whatever piece I want, delete. And there you have that gone and you just have whatever you need. So that's how you would work with cutting out a background.
And if you want to cut out more precisely, you do it with the other tool. What's it called? If you want to show
the magic wand.
If you want to cut out more precisely, and show them the other tool.
More precisely, you can use the lasso tool. And what that does is.
Well, not the lasso, the one below the lasso. Yeah.
Like there's the lasso, which is edges, or there's the magnetic lasso.
Yeah, that one's good.
And what that does, it kind of just grabs the image for you. See how it's just grabbing it for me? Because it's smart. It knows what to do. But sometimes I find with the magic lasso, like, it's not perfect. You know, like, it'll kind of miss a little.
Yes, then you have to zoom in and fix it.
Right. You go in and you cut out that little piece and you refine it. Or you can also change the settings. I mean, I won't go too much into tools. I think that will be a lesson for another day right now. But yeah, so that's a good introduction, but there's a lot more to learn. I suggest anybody who really wants to, learn Photoshop needs to get the program and needs to practice.
Yeah, we have the program, Esther and I, and we have the classes. We just haven't had the time to take them.
Right.
So that's we just need to do it, Esther.
And that's it.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so
very
much. That's really cool.
Thanks.
Really.
It opens up a lot of possibilities. Okay, so
You're a good teacher, Karen. Thanks.
Oh,
so Sarah, send me the link and I'll put it where we're keeping our training stuff.
Okay.